And welcome into Half the Distance Live, your weekly barroom commentary NFL podcast. This week, we're voting for Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
Ooh.
You're damn right.
Oh, man.
All right. As always, I am Matty Fax, joined by Scott Staten, a.k.a. Scotty Stats, the chairman of the board, the professor, and the great Scott Hunter, Pepe La Puducea. We have a lot of stuff to talk about this week, a lot of games.
With the same number of games to talk about this
But, before we get started, if you've never watched before, we each have our favorite team and our least favorite team. We have koozies for each of them. If our team wins or hasn't played yet, you get to use your favorite team's koozie. So, I get to use the Bears koozie and not that ugly trash Packers one. For Mr. Staten, unfortunately, the G-Men did lose to the Commies today, as we'll discuss in a bit, so he gets to use a Patriots koozie. The great Scott Kutzer, being the Bills fan that he is quite happy after his week and gets to use that koozie. And for the professor, his Broncos lost today and therefore must wear a Cowboys koozie. It's okay though, because the entire offseason he had to use this as he was the loser of our show as far as picking games correctly.
We already covered that last week.
I just
Why
wanted
have
to
bring up
point
old
it out
shit?
again.
You know, it's okay. It's okay to wear this one today because I'm going to use this ironically. After that drumming they received.
That's a good point.
Fair enough.
Let's
Fair
not
enough.
skip ahead, though. Start out. Thursday night, Buffalo traveled to Miami, which they got a little lucky in the fact that it wasn't during the day. They didn't have to worry about that massive
They didn't
sun.
get on the opposing sideline at 2 p.m. Yes.
Exactly.
This is correct.
So, Buffalo did win this game 31-10. Josh Allen did not have to do much. 139 yards passing and a touchdown. James Cook, 78 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Khalil Shakir was their leading receiver with 54 yards. For Miami, Tua had 145 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Devin Achane had a very good game, 96 yards rushing, 7 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. Waddle led them with receiving for 4 for 41. However, this is all glossing over what is the real story from this game in the fact that Tua, in an attempt to pick up a first down, ran straight into DeMar Hamlin's chest, and there was a Highlander quickening moment where there could be only one, and Hamlin won.
Yeah.
And Tua, unfortunately, suffered another awful concussion where he was in the fencing pose, I believe they call it. It's a boxing thing where the arms get stuck out.
Yep.
Which is better than when he was in decorticate posturing from when he was with the Bengals, or against the Bengals.
Are you just making up words now?
No, I'm not.
Decorticates?
Yes, it's a core posture. Anyway, the point is, massive concussion. Very good game for the Bills. I don't want to gloss over that. But as far as the future of Tua and the Dolphins goes, it came out today that he states he has no interest at this point in retiring from football. However, I don't think he's actually spoken with any neurologist yet, as they have to wait some time to give his brain a little time to heal.
So I got a couple thoughts on it. The first one is going to be shitty. The second one is maybe going to be a little bit more...
Shitty?
Less shitty?
Thoughtful. First, I do want to point out, it was very biblical what happened, you know. Eye for an eye, life for a life,
Yep.
you know.
Had it been the Bengals they were playing against, I would have believed that.
Right. Well, DeMar Hamlin coming back, right? You gotta, like, he's got to steal something. Yeah. Anyways. I hope this is the motivation for these teams as they're signing these giant contracts for their quarterbacks to say, guess what? You're now required to wear a Guardian cap. If we are going to pay you this and guarantee this much money, you are the head and shoulders of our team. Wear that cap. And
I'm okay with that.
If I were a quarterback, what's stopping you from doing it?
I honestly think all of them should wear them.
It just...
I think it was a huge step. They said if you want to, you can. That's a massive first step, you know? And like maybe 8 players, I think, actually do, but...
Yeah, right.
So
And then I apologize, Eric. Then you got someone like TJ Watt, like looking on and they asked him about it. And he was like, I wouldn't wear it, but hey, I understand that they might want to. Holy shit. You're paying to how much? Along with how many other quarterbacks?
About $220 million.
I think that this next round of negotiations, one of the things that with the NFL and the Players Association, the NFL, if you believe in player safety, you will now be mandating.
Which they don't.
No. You will.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You will,
And we don't either.
they will. One of the things is
Yeah.
the team is allowed to mandate players to wear the Guardian.
Let me build off that just real quick. This isn't a lot of commentary, but when an O lineman doesn't wear sleeves or gloves in a cold weather game, we applaud that. and the guarding cap is so far removed that I don't think we've had time to digest that.
Yes, but what was the helmet originally designed for? It was not to protect the brain. It was because of the amount of skull fractures they were dealing with the old leather helmet. The helmets that they wear now, while they've done more to try to make them better for protecting against brain injury, the design was originally to stop skull fractures.
Yeah, they didn't know what
now,
concussions were back
exactly.
then.
Now
No,
we
so
do know.
I-
We know that the movement of the head, like when they take a big hit to the head, it's not just that backwards because the brain goes backwards and forwards. They call it coup contra coup.
Right.
Right,
And
but
it's
I'm
that,
saying
it's that
I
second one
think
that
The
does
anti-centrifugal fluid, right?
Yeah.
I think the three of
I
you
can
are
make up
correct.
phrases too,
It's
man.
not anti-centrifugal.
No, I think the
It's
three of you are
sort of
correct
spinal
in that
fluid.
guarding cap should be worn, but until it's league mandated, like that domino is not going to fall, where
I
one
agree.
player
And
is going to fall on the sword. Is what I'm saying.
And with the way that these numbers are going, and I think that's why I say I think that between the NFL and the Players Association, but the NFL will say they won't mandate anyone to wear it, but they'll empower the teams to mandate the players. Maybe the teams maybe they can, but I think that discussion needs to happen.
Is that the NFL version of states' rights?
No, so Scott,
Yeah.
I think you're right, but I
Yeah.
think it will take that one team that says, "I don't care if you're a D tackle or a corner, we are wearing guarding caps collectively because it's safer."
You'll know who the team doesn't care about. No, you don't need to wear one. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, but you. Yeah, no, you better put one on.
Punters and kickers.
Deshaun Watson? No, you don't need a guardian cap. You're good. You're good.
All right, yeah. So listen, in the end, we all want to be healthy, and unfortunately, I think for him, it means I would say he needs to retire.
Well,
But
stop
I am
leading
not
with your head.
I agree, but then it'll be why didn't he try to get the first down, and then all those conversations
Yep.
will begin. So
Hey,
it's a
you know
no-win
what?
situation once you get into that.
Let's be
those
honest.
weeds.
That's an NFL quarterback who made a decision on his own, of his own free will, for the most part. I'm not sure how much free will he has left, but whatever.
Okay, the Raiders traveled to Baltimore, knocked off the Ravens. Gardner mentioned
What the
276
hell?
yards passing, a touchdown, interception. Samir White, not a great day on the ground, 24 yards rushing. That's the leading rusher for them. But Devontae Adams did have 9 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 247, a touchdown, interception. Derrick Henry, 84 yards rushing and a touchdown. And Zay Flowers, 7 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. I don't know what to make of the Ravens right now. They're 0-2. They definitely could have beat the Chiefs. They were about, I don't know, an inch of one person's foot from doing so. The Raiders game today, I don't know what to think of this.
It's the Raiders. Like, this makes no sense.
The Raiders have been playing balls out for Pierce, right? They love that man. Great defensive scheming for sure. I wasn't expecting their offense to be able to put up those kind of numbers against Baltimore, but the defensive scheme was clearly working really well. I mean, that was one that we all just flat agreed, no chance, right?
I don't think we had a conversation.
Yeah,
It was just
right.
like, yeah,
Move on.
Ravens,
Yeah,
across the
moving
board.
on,
Yeah.
right? So, whew.
Okay. The Browns traveled to Jacksonville, took on the Jaguars. They won 18-13. Deshaun Watson, 86 yards passing. Jerome Ford, 64 yards rushing. Jerry Jeudy, 5 catches for 73. For the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, 220 yards passing. Etienne had 52 yards rushing and a touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr. led them with 2 catches for 94 yards. The Browns kicked 6 field goals to win this game. Their defense showed up when it needed to. And the Jaguars are just an underperforming team every year, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick? Deshaun has not had a 300-yard game since 2020.
Sure, I believe you.
I would also like to say that if you can't beat a team that kicks 6 field goals, you're absolute trash. Now, if you're a team that can't beat someone with 7 field goals, that's totally different.
I mean,
Giants?
That is the cutoff right there.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Does that happen?
Shut up.
All right.
All right, the Jets traveled to Tennessee. They won 24-17. Aaron Rodgers, 176 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Brees Hall, 62 yards rushing plus 7 catches for 52 and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson had 4 catches for 57 yards. Braylon Allen, rookie running back, had 1 rushing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown. For the Titans, Will Levis, 192 yards passing and a touchdown, but another awful interception. Tony Pollard, 62 yards rushing, and Calvin Ridley led them with 4 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. To me, so the Titans are going to have a good defense. The problem here is that their offense is going to be bad, with at least so far, with Will Levis.
Yeah.
I don't see how it improves unless he starts doing something better, and he has made some of the dumbest plays the last 2 weeks.
You know, I will. one positive thing, because you know me, I'm always a bright side guy. One positive
100%.
thing was
As long as we're not talking about the Giants.
when he just absolutely muscled his way. He was getting roughed up. They defenders were swatting at the ball, trying to knock it out of his hands. Which I will say this, that makes me think, like, you think you're just going to swat it from his arms. Instead of tackling, he got away. He muscled his way through like a tight end moving through there. He's a powerful quarterback. I'm not saying that he has to be the next Josh Allen, but maybe he needs to start trying to emulate some of those types of things. Because I think he can move like him. He's strong like him.
He should definitely go talk to him about whatever he did to improve his accuracy.
Exactly. That's like, I wonder, like, is that where he needs to go? You don't look at anyone else. Look at Josh Allen.
Well, Will
Learn from
Levis
him.
tries to do things like the underhand throw he tried to do that got intercepted by the Bears last week. He tries to do things that Favre did that he was successful at. But he has never been successful at them in the NFL, and I don't know why he keeps trying to do them.
Well, he goes home at night. He looks at the poster of Brett Favre on his ceiling. You know,
I thought he looked at a poster of a mayo jar.
he superimposed Mayo in Brett Favre's hand.
He's also only a second-year quarterback.
We trash people up and down, left and right. I
know.
don't care.
Okay.
You know that.
Yes,
Uh,
but just keep in mind.
but when you talk about like what makes you think you can do those things, like keep in mind that we're on this next generation that looks at superstars and goes out there and tries.
Yep.
And you see it more in basketball.
Oh
right?
yeah.
You go to your local high school basketball game. You will literally see kids cross half court
Yep.
and launch up the shittiest 3-point shot you've seen.
Steph Curry
They
does it.
they're pulling up from their waist, right? But
Angel
That-
Reese does it.
but at the same time, you know what? You know what's improving? 3-point shooters, because they're all out there doing that. They're
Yeah,
emulating
yeah.
those things. So, and that one's a little bit easier to try to emulate because I just got to launch it from wherever. I want to do a cool behind the back pass.
Yeah.
You emulate those things. But you know the real champions, they grow past it and they say, I'm here to win. I'm not here to look cool. So he might need to grow up.
I got to push back for 2 seconds. My dad's a middle school coach. 3-point shooting is not improving because Steph Curry got in the league. They still suck dick at jacking in threes.
In college, I think.
No, you're right, but I'm saying in middle school.
They gotta start
Oh, no,
somewhere.
no, no, no.
That's where you
I'm saying,
planted
like,
the
over-
seeds. I tell you, it's
Oh, no,
not
no.
better.
Scott's not saying by the end of the 7th grade season they're
Yeah.
fucking draining
No, no, no.
threes.
CJ in 8th grade at YMS still sucks from the range. That's all I gotta say.
All right, that was a
Wait,
nice little un-NFL
You just had an issue. We talked about talking trash about a quarterback who's in his second year.
You're going to talk shit on seventh
You
graders.
just bashed a million seventh
Yeah.
graders in one
And
swoop.
it's all factual.
Okay. San Francisco traveled to Minnesota and lost
What?
17-23. Brock Purdy, 319 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jordan Mason in relief of Christian McCaffrey, who is on the IR now, had 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. Deebo Samuel, 8 catches for 110. Kittle, 7 catches, 76 yards and a touchdown. For the Vikings, Sam Darnold, 268 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Ty Chandler led them in rushing with 82. And Justin Jefferson had 4 catches for 133 and a touchdown. 36 yards and 3 catches on one, 97 yards and a touchdown on the other one. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The Vikings defense is legit.
Yeah.
Brian Flores has them playing.
So we talked about the potential. Like, what if this is what if Sam Darnold was just in bad systems and no one believed in him, and now you've got a team that is good, and you just need to get him the ball, some good coaching,
It's
some
weird.
good support.
Having Justin
like,
Jefferson helps.
you know, like,
Well, listen,
and all you need to be is decent.
Listen, Geno Smith got drafted by the Jets and
Yep.
he sucked, and he gets to the Seattle Seahawks, gets a chance to play, and he's okay. You know, Sam Darnold, drafted by the Jets, traded to the Panthers, got a chance to sit in the 49ers. Now he's starting with the Vikings, and he's doing okay. Zach Wilson might be the future of your quarterback position in Denver, sir.
He's sitting on that bench. Yep, he's right there.
Jets training camp pays off, huh?
Listen, to me, this was more about the Vikings defense and the fact that Sam Darnold is playing well. I mean, the 49ers defense
Yeah.
was okay in this game. They still got a lot of rushing yards out of Mason. There wasn't the receiving yards you would get out of McCaffrey, but they had a lot out of Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. I think this is more about
Yeah,
what
oh,
the
that's
Vikings
Minnesota
defense
defense.
did correctly.
Absolutely. Yep.
So many trash
Like, there's no
cans.
way that McCaffrey is that integral to the scheming of the Niners. There's no way. With
Well-
the talent they have on that team, you know?
And when you have Jordan Mason out there
for 100 yards.
Keeping
Doing
the rush
just
game
fine.
strong.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, now you can just lean on Debo, who runs and catches,
Or George Kittle.
or George Kittle, who blocks and runs.
Brandon
and
Ayuk
catches.
didn't even get used today, really.
Yeah,
Like, they have
right.
so many
Well,
weapons.
I know Kittle went out. Did he ever come back in?
Yeah.
Like it was just like cramps or something like that. He was getting some injections.
In the no shit Sherlock, the Chargers beat the Panthers 26-3. The big deal
I don't
here
think we could say that anymore.
I don't think we can say that anymore. I
that
don't
the
trust
Panthers
it.
No, the
lost.
no shit
No,
Sherlock.
no,
after
not
this
after
week
this
of
week.
games,
That's
Jesus,
fair.
you know.
The biggest deal here, Bryce Young, only 84 yards passing, 1 interception. I don't even want to go into who their leaders were other than that. It was a pretty bad day offensively for them. For the Chargers, Herbert, 130 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins, 131 yards rushing. And Quentin Johnston, last year's first-round pick they had that didn't do very well as a rookie wide receiver, 5 catches for 58 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So maybe he's starting to get it together. The problem here is Justin Herbert got rolled up late in the game. Lower leg injury. Should be fine.
It didn't
but
look that bad.
Something to
Yeah.
keep in mind. The Seahawks traveled to New England, where the most surprising team in the league lives. They did come out with a victory, 23-20. Geno Smith, 327 yards passing and a touchdown. Zach Charbonnet stepped in for Walker, had 38 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, 5 catches for 31 yards. DK Metcalf had 10 catches for 120 yards and a touchdown. And Jackson Smith and Jigba had 12 catches for 117 yards. Real big game for them. Jacoby Brissett, 149 yards passing and a touchdown. Antonio Gibson, 96 yards rushing. And Hunter Henry was the leading receiver for the Pats with 8 catches for 109. Pats defense is legit, though.
Apparently.
The Seahawks look pretty good today, but the Pats defense is legit.
Yeah. There's. It's only 2 weeks, but they are by far the most surprising team so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there was going to be a pick of teams that I thought would be 2-0, they'd be at the very end of that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Just,
Well, no, I'm
just
sorry.
above the Panthers.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There would be the 31st team on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
list because the Panthers would be the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, excellent point there, Professor. Any thoughts on that, Squeak?
Panthers?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Outside of David Tepper's an idiot.
Adam Thielen is being
Miscast?
he's in his twilight of his career, and I wish he was on a much better team.
You leave Mr. AARP alone.
I wish Adam Thielen was not on the Panthers. Is my
He
thoughts.
had a chance to sign with the Chiefs and didn't. So there
That's
you go.
on
That's
him.
on him.
Okay.
Should he have begged to stay with Minnesota?
No.
No. But he would get a ring in Kansas City because Kansas City is probably on there in the death march to a 3rd ring in a row.
The Death March. That's definitely a Bills fan talking.
Yeah.
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 In the holy shit are you kidding me category today, the Saints went to Dallas and beat the Cowboys 44-19.
And we're all upset. We are all upset.
Derek Carr.
Oh, it's so sad.
Derek
oh,
Carr,
it's so sad.
243 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, interception. Alvin Kamara, who said, I'm in what year of my career? 115 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, 2 catches, 65 yards and a touchdown. Rashid Shaheed, 4 catches, 96 and a touchdown. Chris Olave in a ho-hum 4 catches for 91 yards game.
What a loser.
Yeah, right? Dak Prescott did have 293 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. CeeDee Lamb had 4 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown. The bigger issue here, their leading rusher was Rico Dowdle. Not the problem that he was, it was more the fact that it was 30 yards. It's going to be hard to win a game when you can't rush the ball. However, they were in such a negative game script from
Right.
8 minutes into the game. They're already down 14. It's the way it works. They had to pass to try to get back into it. It wasn't effective, and the Saints' defense showed up to play, and their offense remarkably efficient.
So after the Saints put up big numbers last week, you would assume that Dallas is like, we clearly can't look past these guys, right? Let's watch the tape. Did they fall asleep? Like, what am I missing here? Like, they didn't. There's no way they look past them.
And they did pretty much the same thing they did last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
my God.
the Saints made no adjustments to what they did last week
Right.
versus the Cowboys today.
So
Like, I thought Dennis Allen was on, the hottest of seats. But not anymore.
I like it. I like it. I
I'm
mean,
gonna-
not just because they destroyed the Cowboys.
But here's the stupid thing: I don't feel good about picking them in other games. It doesn't. Two flukes in a row, it doesn't.
But how do you not pick them
How do
next
you
week?
not, though,
You know?
right? Crazy.
They play Philadelphia, so good question. How do you... That's a tough one.
Okay.
In this sad game of the week, and I don't mean that just because of the loss, but because of why a few things went down for the G-Men, The Giants went to Washington and lost to the Commies 18-21. Daniel Jones actually had a pretty good game. 178 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Now, 127 of those yards came from elite neighbors.
Comparatively a good game.
Yeah.
Hey, no pick sixes. He finally has more touchdowns to his own players than pick sixes at this point in that contract. Devin Singletary, 95 rushing yards and a touchdown. For the Commies, Daniels looked okay. 226 yards passing and 44 yards rushing. Brian Robinson Jr., 133 yards rushing. And Zach Ertz led them with 4 catches for 62. The issue here in the game...
He's still losing about a good game for Daniel Jones.
Scott, what was your favorite part? What was your favorite play?
Oh, man.
The kneel down before halftime?
The biggest issue here was they were within range for kicking a field goal to take the lead in the game late. However, on the very first play of the game, a kickoff from the Giants to the Commies, the kickoff was returned for a touchdown. They got called back for holding. Unfortunately, Graham Gano tried to run down the returner in this play and pulled a hammy or a groin or something, and they no longer had a kicker. So when they were within range to actually kick a field goal to take the lead at the end of the game, they couldn't and had to try to go for it, and the Commies ended up driving down the field, getting the field goal, and winning the game.
Getting what, their 7th field goal?
Yes.
Yes.
They would have done it. Would have done it.
Yeah.
You know, 7 field goals.
I
that could win you a
realized
game.
that saying that Daniel Jones had a good game and it's 178, 2 touchdowns sounds weird, and the Skunk Hunter finds it hilarious. However, based on how he's played since he signed that contract, this is the best game he's played. And Malik Neighbors looked legit. Now, granted, the Commies
200
defense
yards
sucks.
and a loss. Yeah.
Malik Neighbors had 10 catches for 127 yards and a touchdown, and it looks like he fully belongs in the NFL.
Listen, I like Eric better when he's drunk and mumbling and falling off the stage.
Last week, he was the closest we've had since the very first episode of this, second or third episode of this show, where the chair was calling dinosaurs at a certain point.
Yep.
Yeah, that Eric was the closest we've had to that. Okay, let's move on to a game where Eric won't laugh constantly. The Bucks traveled to Detroit and beat the Lions 20-16. Baker Mayfield, 185 yards passing, a touchdown, interception. They did not run the ball well in this. He was also the leading rusher with 34 yards. Chris Godwin, though, 7 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. For the Lions, this is about the turnovers. Goff had 300 yards passing, but 2 interceptions. Gibbs had 84 yards rushing, 7 catches for 22. Montgomery, 35 yards rushing, 4 catches for 35. Amon-Ra St. Brown came to life, 11 catches for 119 yards. And Jameson Williams, second good game in a row, 5 catches for 79. Did we underestimate the Bucks or did we overestimate the Lions, or is this just a situation where the teams match up really well?
I think Scott's right.
I think it's both.
And can I say way too early? I think Baker, if he keeps this up, might be in the convo for MVP.
Well, he's a quarterback, so if he has a good season, that's generally correct.
So I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
it's.
yeah.
I know it's week 2,
Yeah.
but like, if he just keeps doing what he's doing right now, like, I don't think it's incredible to say
Well, no,
he might
but-
be MVP.
I'll tell you what, though, I didn't think the Saints were going to be their biggest competition.
I'm gonna
for
say,
that
yeah,
division.
no shit.
I thought it'd be the
Favorite
Falcons.
always
Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm really interested to watch the Saints and the Bucks play now. I got to be honest. Plus, Mike Evans and the top cornerback for the Saints hate each other, so I can't wait till they play each other. That's fine.
And just last thing, Maddie, we've already said it, but just full circle, I'm so happy for Baker, who got shafted by the Browns, came full circle, and he's in a good situation.
I'm so glad.
And that's
you
all
were
I can
here
say.
To
That's
listen
all
to
I'll
us have
say
that
about it.
conversation last week.
I know,
That's
I
the
know.
exact conversation.
I'm happy for him.
I get you. In case you didn't know, Skunk Hunter is also an Oklahoma fan.
Are you drunk yet? Come on.
Not
Come
yet.
on
Okay.
Oh,
the
you had a
Colts.
window.
The Colts traveled to Green Bay, and we thought they had a real chance, but they lost 10-16. Anthony Richardson, 204 yards passing and a touchdown. Unfortunately, 3 interceptions that doomed
Three.
them.
3.
Jonathan
Yeah,
Taylor,
yeah.
103 yards rushing, and Pierce had 5 catches, 56 and a touchdown. Malik Willis didn't look great, but he didn't fuck his team over. 122 yards passing and a touchdown, and 6 rushes for 41. Josh Jacobs had 152 yards rushing today, and Dobbs had 3 catches for 62. Pack's defense showed up. It's the bottom line here. Like, Malik Willis had a decent game. Josh Jacobs in the running game carried them, but
And I think that's the, I mean, who doesn't love a good overreaction? We're talking about, teams that make us want to overreact. Green Bay's not one of them yet. Josh Jacobs can't run 150 yards every game and save their season.
no. But
Willis has got to figure out how to move that ball downfield.
they are now 1-1. They
Yep.
should have Jordan Love back by week 5 or 6.
Yeah, for them not to just fall apart,
Yep.
losing what they thought was going to be their guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, good on them.
Absolutely. Talk about a team that fell apart after last week. The Rams, who took the Lions to overtime but had about 4 offensive linemen get injured, lost to the Cardinals 41-10 today. Marvin Harrison Jr., let me do the stats. We'll discuss this. Matt Stafford, 216 yards passing. Kyren Williams, 25 yards rushing and a touchdown. Tutu Atwell, 3 catches for 48. Cooper Kupp left with an injury. For the Cardinals, Kyler Murray, 266 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Perfect quarterback rating of 158.3. He and Kurt Warner now the only Cardinals who have done that in the Super Bowl era. Connor, 127 yards rushing and a touchdown. Marvin Harrison Jr., 4 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns after doing 1 catch for 4 yards last week. I understand the Rams' offensive line had a lot of injuries, but this is a team that has a lot of talent all around, and the Cardinals beat the dog shit out of them.
Did you say Harrison only had 4 catches?
Yeah, last week.
No, 1 catch for 4
yeah.
yards. 4 catches, 130
No, but
yards,
this
and a
week.
touchdown.
Yeah, right.
This week, how many
8
catches?
targets, but he had 4 catches today.
Jesus.
Right?
And he put up those numbers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I imagine we
After-
could have caught the other 4.
After 4 yards last week.
Yeah.
That's
That's why he's sitting on my fantasy bench.
We've talked about how motivated the Cardinals played last season when Murray was out. They came back. They played with that same energy. They're bringing it into this season, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't expect them to have a strong playoff run,
My
but I think they'll be very disruptive.
my fear is they're gonna peak too soon.
Oh yeah,
They're gonna
yeah.
get to like week 10 and be like 8-2, and then just start to lose it a little bit. That's my fear with the Cardinals.
They're in a soft division, though.
Yeah, that always helps. Yep. Yeah, if you eke in, but you don't want to eke into the playoffs and then just get fucking destroyed either.
Jonathan Gannon is doing a wonderful job coaching this team up, though. Absolutely wonderful job.
Yeah, I'd agree.
The Steelers went to Denver and beat the Broncos 13-6. They did finally get a touchdown. Justin Fields threw one, had 117 yards passing, also had 8 rushes for 27 yards. Najee Harris led them with 69 yards rushing. Freiermuth was their leading receiver with 4 for 39. For the Broncos, Knicks had 246 yards passing. Unfortunately, had 2 interceptions.
Hey, so did Fields.
Rough day on the ground for them.
Fields had 2 picks as well.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Didn't he?
No.
All right, continue.
Javonte Williams had 17 yards rushing to lead the team. Reynolds did lead them in receiving with 4 for 93. The Steelers have a fantastic defense. They get to lean on it totally, have a little bit of a rushing game. Justin Fields did just enough. The Broncos have a pretty good defense. Patrick Surtain was able to shut down Pickens. Overall, I mean, it's a very rookie quarterback going against a team that has a very strong defense. I don't know what else to say here.
I was wrong. He was sacked twice. I was confused.
Any thoughts?
Again, the Broncos aren't good. I know they're not. Bo Nix is not where I would like him to be.
What's week 2?
He's a rookie.
Yeah, he is a rookie. Well, he's an old rookie, but
He's like a 39-year-old rookie, but still.
Right.
like I think I want Justin Fields to be the guy for the Steelers. Like, not just because I hate Russell Wilson for the last couple of years. Like, I like it when the Steelers are good. Like, we all want Mike Tomlin to do well.
That's
you
not
know?
true.
Most of the world wants
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin to do well. But, like, that, from the stats and the few clips I was able to see, like, that's the game of the week that nobody wanted to watch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just
yeah.
like, oh, and I hate it when
Yeah.
my team is on one of those games, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, it happens at some point every year to almost everyone's team, you know?
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're a Chiefs fan, maybe not your team, you know? But
Also, I want to recant my statement. I like Mike Tomlin. I just hate Pittsburgh. So that has, yeah. There's mutually exclusive.
Gotcha,
Okay.
Yeah.
gotcha.
In the game of the afternoon, the Bengals lost to the Chiefs 25-26. Joe Burrow had a great game against Kansas City again. 258 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Lack of running game hurt here. Moss only had 34 yards rushing. Gesicki was their leading receiver with 7 for 91. Chase only had 4 for 35. However, the Chiefs have a couple good cornerbacks to try to slow him down. For the Chiefs, Mahomes only 151 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Pacheco had 90 yards rushing but left with an ankle injury. He was in a walking boot after the game. And Rashee Rice had 5 catches for 75 and a touchdown. Chiefs were very much helped out by a late pass interference, which was definitely a pass interference.
Yes.
But,
But that was 2 from that same corner.
Yeah.
yep,
Like, big plays from that same fucking corner. You can't be doing that.
no, absolutely not. And listen, the Chiefs, they find ways to win these games.
So it's an Adam Schefter report, which always needs a little bit more time and vetting, but not always. But he does tend to put things out early that aren't always true. But Jamar Chase apparently is saying that he isn't gonna negotiate and is gonna be ready to leave the Bengals at the end of the season.
Like, how do you play a season like that?
Right, and it makes like
Especially when you're under contract for another year.
Right?
Yeah.
So that means that you need to start balling out and making yourself as valuable as possible, right? Or what? You just be like, I'm gonna take it easy and right. Here's what I hope. I hope that today, especially a loss to the Chiefs, like that's gonna hurt. He didn't get good yards. If he really is saying, all right, we're done. We're not talking about this. And guess what? I probably want out. I want to see him play with that chip on his shoulder and just play fucking mean and angry.
Yep.
And that's going to be terrifying. And you better have the kind of corners and safety that can lock him up, because if he plays angry, he's already one of the best out there, and I want to see that.
Yeah, I don't know like what kind of personality he has enough.
Right.
Like how do you go out there being easily one of the top wide receivers in the league and kind of half-ass it until they trade you? Like,
especially after everyone was getting all that big money.
Yep.
Aren't going to trade him.
No, like
in my opinion,
like to force something. If he's like he could play half-ass and like, well, fuck it, now it's not worth it. Now it is not worth it. Okay, what kind of value can you get for him? You
but
know.
At the end of the season, if he balls out, the amount of draft picks they can get for him.
True.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's a lot.
I mean, if he plays fucking amazingly well and still wants to leave, it's in both of their best interest. Like, yes, you fucking did great for our team.
Yep.
You've raised your fucking capital. People see that you can work in a team that you don't even want to be a part of anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone will fucking pay top dollar for you now.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, to me, that's just the only thing that makes logical sense. But most athletes are, well, I wouldn't say most. A lot of athletes are not logical, especially superstar athletes.
And when the kind of money that's getting thrown around for wide receivers right now, if he feels like he's missing out on this and he's upset, you've got to have that pure dog in you to be like, all right, we didn't come to agreements. Now it's time to play ball and show you guys why you should have paid me.
Yep.
But the reality is the Bengals are going to win anyways if he does that, because they can trade him for big money. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. That is all of today's games thus far. The Texans are currently beating the Bears 3-0, and it is now time for Scott Nathan Statton's NFL as he relights his cigar. I picked a little bit of bad time in there for him.
Boy.
No, that's very un-NFL.
Or did I?
Or did I?
Cigar issues.
Hey, so NFL, because things happen outside of professional sports, and we're here to talk about whatever random thing I prepared. I actually only have college football this week, but there's some fun things that I think are worth sharing. Are you guys familiar with the 100 Miles of Hate?
No. Is this a college thing?
It is a college thing.
Is it a specific team?
It's two teams that have played each other a lot of times.
Are they 100 miles apart?
They are 100 miles apart.
Are we supposed to guess the teams?
Can you
give me a state?
Guesses? They are
Mississippi.
Not Mississippi, but kind of close.
Ooh, are they in the same state?
They are two separate states.
Ooh, okay.
But you're in
100 Miles of Hate?
Yeah.
Florida, Alabama?
So I'm not going to make you guess anymore because you're picking too high caliber of a team.
Oh.
It is. It's
Southwestern Mississippi State
Middle Tennessee
and
State
Northeastern.
University
I was going to say Tennessee.
and Western Kentucky.
I'll tell you this much: the South doesn't hate, but continue.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the South
I was like,
doesn't hate.
what were the teams again?
The Middle Tennessee State and Western Kentucky.
I've heard of both of them at least. Okay.
Yeah. I've never heard of that before. I'm like, maybe it's just me, and I love that rivalry's been going on. So just the other day, Western Kentucky won 49-21. That makes a 6 in a row run for them as winning, but it also has them leading 38-35-1. That's a hell of a rivalry, and I love this. Cool ass name. Teams that don't have the best exposure out there and I want nothing but this kind of thing, and like when you look at some of these scores, like there's not a lot of blowouts as I look back over the history of it. Like they tend to be just the same level of competitiveness. Things like that, I would love to see elevated in college sports. Like get them a little bit better viewing. Like that's good for
Yeah.
these teams that are now going to be struggling as college sports is combining into like one massive conference apparently. So
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. I mean, in that same vein, I mean, really, this is somewhat of a recollection of teams, but the Pac-12 is not going to be the Pac-12 anymore after they dropped out of the Pac-2. They are going to be able to be at this point looking like the Pac-6. Mountain West was just crushed because Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Fresno State are looking to join Pac-12 for the 26-27 year.
But they still need 2 more teams, right? Like by 26 or something like that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. What I also thought was kind of interesting to that is that it's like, well, you know, they do have to. They're going to have to pay a bunch of money to get out of their contracts. Yeah, and basically the thought is the Pac-12, which is just Oregon State, Washington State. They're like, yeah, the money we were paid for all these teams to exit, we can help offset the cost to bring you guys
Really?
in.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
I thought
I like that.
Because also, like, yeah, guess what? We have 2 teams and a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, we're just fucking holding on to this fucking
A lot
conference.
of fucking money. So.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
I like
That
that.
was kind of nice. And I said, we're talking about some Mountain West teams that can be fun and scrappy, and now they're attached to a name like Pac-12,
Yep.
which carries some nice weight to it. You bring in some other teams
2 teams.
from some mid-majors, and, you know, it could be nice. That could maybe be, you know, they lost so many quality teams. Pac-12 is going to suffer, but it's still going to be, hey, Mountain West Pac-12, that seems like a good
Yeah.
bump for you all. So.
So like the Mountain West, I mean, like 15 years ago, maybe 20, like no one had ever fucking heard of Boise State.
Yeah.
They get a blue field, have a couple of NFL players.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're
Yeah.
fucking on TV.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
you're right.
Didn't they have a really good game against Oklahoma?
Were you going
Boise
Pac-12?
State? No, Boise State.
That was unfortunate, but yes.
Yeah, they did like the Statue of Liberty and a couple
Yes.
other trick plays.
07.
Yeah.
Good for that. Honestly, good
This
for
is
that.
a really fun game to watch. I'm not making
No,
fun
no,
of you
like
because
you
you're an
should
Oklahoma
make
fan.
fun of me, but good for Boise State in that game.
It was just a really fun game to watch. I remember it.
Can I do my streaks real quick?
What?
No,
Leave it?
we're in the middle of NFL.
Oh, you're not done? Okay. I didn't know you were still going.
Man,
Okay, keep
Wait,
going.
you interrupted
I
and
mean-
then you're surprised he's still going?
I guess producers got to produce.
I didn't interrupt.
Time to move
He
on,
took
Scott.
a shot at me about Oklahoma unprompted. I didn't say anything, and I was just like,
related to Boise State, the topic we were on.
right,
It was
keep
very
going.
topical.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right, I got clearance from the producer to go on, so perfect.
yeah.
The opposite of what happened today with teams that were projected to win losing. If you were a seeded team in college football yesterday, or you were the higher seed, you won.
100%.
Unless you were Florida State.
They are not ranked.
Oh, they are not ranked. No, they dropped out of 25 completely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're involved
Matt,
with
Matt
also-
doesn't know ball.
They're also 3-0.
Scott knows
So
ball.
every
and
single
3.
ranked or
0-3
higher
now.
ranked team won.
Right, like Kansas State, 14 seed over Arizona,
Woohoo!
whooping 31
Texas
to
Tech
7.
over North Texas.
Right.
That's not a brag.
I know. We did score 3 touchdowns in 1 minute.
And,
That's a brag. Okay.
and there was
Still
a
North
lot of, there was
Texas.
a lot of good old whippings out there, you know, like Alabama beating Wisconsin 42 to 10,
Damn.
Old Miss over Wake Forest 40 to 6, Tennessee over Kent State 71 to 0.
Oof. Oof.
A quality rivalry with Oregon and Oregon State 41 to 19.
Yeah, it's always a fun game.
You know, right. Missouri, 6th ranked, beating Boston College 27 to 21. Good on you, Boston College. Like,
Yeah,
that's
fuck yeah.
They're off to a nice start, to be honest, and it doesn't bode well for my budding Orangemen having an okay season. They're gonna if they have to play Boston College, which I'm not sure I think they do, but whatever. But actually, the two games that I want to talk about would be Georgia, who almost lost. Number 1 seed Georgia coming into Saturday, playing Kentucky, squeaked out a win 13 to 12. Kentucky would not go away, was not letting Georgia do anything. Snuck out that win. Really nice on them. but it's actually about the team that the game I really want to talk about is the now number 1 seeded Texas, whooping the dog shit out of UTSA Roadrunners, Brian.
Allegedly.
Who's been a D1 school for all of 3 years.
56-7. But the real
That was my
story-
first alma mater,
Right.
so it does hurt a little bit.
The real
you know?
story in that one is Quinn Ewers going out with an injury, but in pretty much his mostly one quarter of play, Quinn Ewers did 185 yards and 2 touchdowns, and an interception, but whatever. Well, that's a lot of yards in the short amount of time
Yeah.
he played. And then Arch Manning came in. Arch Manning threw the ball 12 times, 9
That
catches.
was close. That was close.
He put up 223 yards with 9 catches.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he
He
averaged.
also had a very long touchdown run.
He averaged almost 19 yards a throw.
But I
He
love
had
that.
4 touchdown passes, and then he also had a 67-yard run.
Because
This-
they've been anointing him the chosen one since he was in fucking high school.
Yeah.
And he's
Probably
like,
junior high.
He's like I'll sit here and ride the bench. Yeah, I'm good with this.
Making $3
Oh,
million
I gotta
a year.
play? Okay. And he fucking balls out. Like,
And
fuck
he-
yeah,
and he's right.
you know?
And
Like,
if-
most people that young don't do what the accolades say,
Well-
you know?
Well, let's be honest here. This was a kid that was raised in a family with 2
No, but
basically Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that
As
attribute
uncles.
their success to their
To
their
his
father.
father.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Arch Manning.
Archie Manning.
Archie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arch Manning's grandfather, Archie.
Yeah.
I-
It gets confusing.
And to have him produce, but also like getting $3 million a year NIL money, like, and sitting the bench in his sophomore season behind Quinn Ewers.
Well, I mean,
I-
he's been around money his whole life. Not from his dad,
yeah.
but been around money his whole life.
Right.
And he doesn't seem to have made an asshole because of it.
Yep.
And, like, that's a pretty fucking rare quality in
Yep.
anyone,
Yep.
much less a soon-to-be
Yeah.
professional athlete.
But also,
you know?
how relieved are those donors to see a game like
Oh,
this?
I know where it actually panned out. Yep. Because it could have
Ooh.
been a fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it could have been a travesty.
But the real gem of a game was Arizona State Sun Devils and the Texas State Bobcats.
You,
Sure.
you stole my just the worst. Oh. All right, continue.
no.
Continue.
Well, I want you to then talk about it more
Because
after
that
he's
is
done.
my most recent Texas alma mater.
Yeah. So you know the game was a nice game, 31-28. You know, and the
It's
very end of the
28-28
game,
with 5 minutes left.
Yep. Very end of the game, Arizona's, got the ball. They kneel down, right? Everyone runs off the field. Everyone takes everything off the field. Fans are leaving the stadium, and then 10 minutes later, the announcers, get out and say, "By the way, the final play was under review." The kneel down, because they kneeled down with a second left on the clock.
Yep.
Then they had to figure out how to restart the game
Yep.
to an empty stadium. And there's actually, like, the TV crews all left.
Yep.
So there's apparently one fan video of them actually playing the final,
This one dude
Fun-
on his fucking phone.
one dude on his phone, the final round of it, and he captured the old hook and ladder, annexation of Puerto Rico. It didn't go anywhere,
I didn't see the footage.
but you gotta love that. Like,
camera.
hey, you got 1 second left, you might as well hook and ladder, because guess what? What if you won this game and no one
It'll
was
work on
watching?
Oklahoma.
Yep.
They
Yep.
gotta
That
get
would've
that
been
camera
nice.
off that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then the coach also came out afterwards to interview him, and he said, "The only reason I'm out here is because I'm legally obligated to."
Yep.
All right, have a good night. See ya.
Yep.
Classic. Classic. And that is officially NFL, Eric.
Okay, so now can I go squeak streaks?
Hold on. We got to go over last week's squeak streaks.
Okay.
Which were?
Do you remember?
No.
So last week, Squeak over here said the Panthers would not score a touchdown while in the lead.
That stood up.
They never had the lead, but they also never scored a touchdown.
So
that's kinda
tracks.
So it holds.
But then you also said that Tony Pollard would have less than 90 yards combined.
How are we looking with that?
He had 62 rushing and 40 receiving.
Okay,
But you got one right.
You got one right.
so here's
I think that counts, right?
Yeah,
That counts. That
Here-
counts.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. It counts. Can you play the
That
bit
totally
for us?
counts. That totally
Squeak
counts.
streaks, squeak streets. Woo, woo, woo,
okay. So I'm building off of something last season, and because they lost today, this makes me extra happy. Dak Prescott will go another game under 60% passing. Ravens next week. This goes back to the last 5 weeks of the season. He has not gone over 60% passing. That's what I'm putting down.
But
for. Dak
You
Prescott.
threw the Ravens in there for some reason.
Yeah, that's who they're playing.
The Cowboys are playing New Orleans next
No,
week.
they're not. They're playing Baltimore. They played New Orleans this week.
Oh,
Thank
look
you.
at look at the previous week.
Yeah, they're playing the Ravens this upcoming week. Dak
Very well
Prescott
prepared.
will go under 60%
Yeah.
for like the
All
8th
right.
We
week. in a
half-ass
row.
everything. Whole ass nothing.
Yep.
Hey, shout out to the new friend that we made at the bar the other night who signed up to listen to the podcast. I'm sure he's
Yes.
loving it. Loving it. What was the team? I forget. Oh, shoot.
Oh, you,
Well, you're from Ohio.
I didn't have
so
the
I'm guessing it's
conversation. I
either
thought you
Cincinnati
guys
or
would
Cleveland.
remember.
Cleveland.
Was he Cleveland?
He was from
Okay,
Columbus.
Yeah, yeah.
Another
So-
Cleveland? Oh, so,
Yeah.
so Tim Lee is the big Cleveland guy.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got another Cleveland guy
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
All right,
shout out to
all
a
right.
Cleveland fan. We clearly are trash. You're welcome.
Okay,
Well, I told him as much.
Yes, that's fair.
that's awesome. That brings us to just the worst. Now, for my just the worst, I am going to bring up the LSU South Carolina game.
Oh.
That LSU won by a field goal. However, late in the game, LSU is driving to get a touchdown. Their quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, throws a pass that gets intercepted right about the goal line that the defensive back then returns for a touchdown. Unfortunately, it gets called back because of a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on a defensive lineman who saw the quarterback who threw this interception
It was
start to run towards to make the tackle, and he hit him right about where his shoulder is, where the quarterback's shoulder is, with his hands. Didn't lead with his shoulder, didn't lead with his helmet, didn't have helmet to helmet, just pushed him.
wasn't a hold.
Wasn't
Yep,
a hold,
Nope.
just pushed him with 2 hands at the shoulder and knocked him down, and had a flag thrown for unsportsmanlike conduct. Touchdown comes back, South Carolina ends up losing it. If you go back and watch it, it is the most not unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just a terrible call.
Terrible, terrible.
And I'm sorry, but that
Like
the coach for LSU sucks. Used to be for Brian Kelly.
oh,
I hate the
really?
man. He put on a fake fucking Southern
Yeah.
accent when he first got hired.
And then he threw his team on the bus. Like when every time he's such a douche.
It's never his fault.
Yeah.
I just hate that man, and I just hate the fact that these refs gifted him a win. It's just garbage. In
It's
my
not like
opinion.
South Carolina is a nobody school that it's like, this doesn't fit our narrative.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of an I don't know what kind of season they're having, but like that's kind of a nice. That's like that's a solid team. You know,
Yeah, like-
it would have been
yeah,
a nice
like-
win for them.
Beat LSU. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Like you showed me the video, I thought it was just a holding call.
Nope.
Not unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yep.
Like that's way extreme.
Yep.
Like a bad holding call, that
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
But it happens pretty often.
Ah,
Like unsportsman. I mean, there's so many fucking worse things people do that never get flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's awful.
Massages.
Speaking, speaking of which, this is conceptually unsportsmanlike conduct. We talked a little bit about, I don't remember if we talked about it on air or not, but how Florida State was
the
apparently-
music thing.
They're
yeah,
going to play
yeah.
music during their touchdowns, so that way the band didn't play the chop song, Tomahawk Chop, whatever, you know. In that similar vein, there's apparently reports that Deion Sanders
Yes.
has asked that instead of the band playing during touchdowns, they actually play music over the loudspeakers. Can
Can
you
I-
guys guess what
His
song?
son.
Can I pile on top of
That
this?
is correct.
Not
He
when
wants to play
Colorado scores, when Shador scores.
Just when Shador scores?
That is correct.
Oh,
Only
that's why he walked it back.
Yeah.
Because what I had read was he had supposedly said that, and he denied it. But now it's like, oh,
Not-
he denied it because it's only when my
if-
kid scores.
If tight end, no one knows scores, no.
Oh.
If Shador scores, his rap song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Perfect Timing is the name of the rap song. I'm sure it's going to get so many streaming hits. I saw this described as Deion Sanders running the best Ponzi scheme on Colorado ever. And I am stealing someone's joke, and thank you for making it. I appreciate you letting me share it, but My God, come on now. Can we stop with this? And I don't want that to be a thing. Good God, that should not be a thing. Because now all of a sudden it's going to be like, well, we probably should get rights over that. We should probably get paid for that.
Oh, I'm
So,
sure.
come on.
Yep.
Get out of here. Just the
Garbage.
worst.
That is
Just
garbage.
I kind of want to listen to it. Like, it could be a shit song, but if the music is just fucking banging, I'm like, no, I can see that being a good touchdown fucking celebration song. But I get a sense that it's not. I get a sense it's not cool in any fucking capacity.
I kept telling myself I should listen to it. I was like, no, I don't want to support this. I don't want to. And I have nothing against Shedeur Sanders. He has the makings of a good quarterback out there. Whether he's a starting quarterback in the NFL or he has a career as a backup, he's got the makings of a talented quarterback.
Will Dion take a back seat and let him actually get coached in the NFL?
I doubt
I'll
it.
tell you what. You trying to tell me like that man's gonna have keys to a stadium? No way. They're gonna lock him out in a hurry. They're gonna have to recondition that kid.
Yeah.
The skills are all there. They might just have to recondition his brain. I don't know.
I will say, I still think Travis Hunter deserves to be in the Heisman.
Oh my God, kid's
Had
good.
another great game receiving the ball and had a fantastic interception also. Like, that kid just... I think he's off the field for the special teams plays, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Actually, I have one other just the worst, and it's on us.
Oh.
Because last week, we did not say our cheers. So, real fast,
We
to make sure
didn't
it doesn't happen.
the entire time?
Our cheers, if you've never
Oh,
listened
God.
before, it's simple. Fuck Joe Buck.
Fuck Joe Buck.
He is the worst. Sorry, I had to take a drink after that cheers.
How did we miss that?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Also, we should also always say, put Aaron Andrews in the booth.
She's the best.
He's the
Put her in
best.
the
She's
booth.
the most talented. Put her in the booth. Skunk Hunter,
Ugh.
what is your just the worst?
This is a very broad thing, but the disillusionment of conferences in college football. Scott kind of alluded to it, but it's so weird that the Big Ten has 30 teams, or like any way you want to slice it up, the Pac-12 has 2 teams, and it just. I'm not saying it was a perfect scenario, but it doesn't make sense presently in my book.
It was already a clusterfuck, and then NIL money's making it way fucking worse.
Well,
Or even
yeah.
just like Syracuse being in the ACC, like go back 12 years ago, the Big East tournament was electric in basketball, and like it just. I know the dam had to break, but it's a weird.
So
Yeah.
So I don't mind like some of the reshuffling around, some of the things that happen in basketball. Like as those teams move around, there was still a bunch of equity. Like Syracuse joining the ACC, that was a better conference for them. But Syracuse was I think still a nice pickup for them. It makes some sense. The conference is like it's getting bigger
Right.
and bigger with the
But
addition
even
of
2
three
years
teams.
ago, the Big 12 tournament used to matter in basketball,
Right,
and now
right,
it doesn't.
right. But in football, the football is driving all of these conference changes more than basketball because there's just so much more money in it. And
But it's not just the football, the sport itself. It's also these other teams having their own networks. UT has its own network, so bringing them into
Right.
your
And,
conference
like,
brings a lot of money into your conference.
If you take away the conference, Iowa State coming into Manhattan, Kansas on a Wednesday night as a ranked team might have been electric.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And yeah.
No longer.
Yeah.
I actually blame
Or Texas Tech. Like, yeah.
I blame the NCAA for this. They were losing control of these leagues for a while. The leagues were unhappy with the way that some of these contracts were getting doled out for TV. And the conference were like, you know what? We might just pull ourselves into an organization where you don't matter anymore. College football could arguably go the way of, especially with NIL, be like, we don't think we need NCAA regulation anymore. And if anyone's strong enough to do it, it's college football. And the strength of these massive conferences, holy shit. And they're about to build an incredible playoff system. I really like
That I like.
the
That I
playoff system
like.
that can
Yes.
go like March
12-team
Madness.
playoff, yes.
12-team playoff, winner take all. I love that. Yeah. The inequity is a little bit just the worst. But maybe it finds itself into some.
No,
into
it's just
things that we enjoy.
it's such a broad statement, but and we'll wrap it up. But I'm just saying, when Matt was at Texas Tech, if Texas Tech was number 20 and they were playing Kansas State on a night he had free, and they were both ranked, I think Matt might have gone, I might think about going to this game because this will be a very fun night.
If I wasn't 10 and bar, I'd go.
Yeah.
So-
And I think that's getting lost.
I think college conferences are fucking crazy anyway. But I was like, okay, well, who is the ACC this year?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them make sense.
Yeah. There's 3 that were added that make no sense.
SMU,
SMU.
Stanford,
Yeah.
Cal.
Yeah.
It still stands for the Atlantic Coast Conference,
They
right?
haven't really changed it. Well, you know what? It's probably the branding is probably ACC, but yeah.
Yeah.
So SMU we talked about a little bit last week because they basically after their death sentence,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They joined the ACC,
Like finally to like.
and literally the chancellor of the school said, we aren't going to accept any TV money.
yeah, we
9
got
years.
plenty of our own. Yeah.
We're not worried about losing a couple $100 million because the billionaires behind SMU are like, holy shit, we can build this program up. Just get them on TV somewhere. That'll be fine for us.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my god.
But you add 2 California teams.
Yeah, that's
come on.
I feel bad for
Come
those
on,
athletes. Just
you
the
know?
travel they got to do. You know what I mean?
Like, that
'cause
makes no sense
It's not
for
just
college.
the football either. Like the basketball teams, they travel
Yeah.
during the middle of the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can't belong to one conference in one sport and another conference in another, right?
No.
Nope.
Oh yeah. You can.
Can you?
Yeah. You can. But when you're big,
Notre
schools, you
Dame.
don't tend to.
Notre Dame is in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
like at one point
But
they just
football, they're
admit
not.
like college athletes that play mainly basketball and football,
Right.
they're not really student athletes.
Eh.
They're athletes. ... Couple of classes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, just be honest about it.
All right. Any other just the words to bring up this week?
That's enough.
Okay. Let's get
That was
in.
a lot,
That's a
actually.
lot.
I know.
We are now going to get into our picks for next week because we love making them early because, well, it's just funny. So, Thursday night, the Patriots, surprising 1-1, have been in every game they've played so far this season. We'll be playing the Jets in New Jersey.
I'm going to start this off, and I'm going to say New England's defense outplays the Jets' defense. It's an ugly game. Give me New England. And
I'm
that's a
gonna
hard thing for me to say, but
I'm going to second this off because I hate Brady and Belichick. I'm also going to pick the Jets. So what's 2-0
Well,
right
he
there?
picked the
I picked New
Patriots.
England.
Oh, I'm going Jets.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Jets in so much as I think their offense can do enough versus the New England defense, whereas I don't think the New England offense is going to be able to do much against the New York defense.
I think Scott is right. It's going to be an ugly game, but I think the Jets defense comes out on
It's-
top.
We're talking field goals.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Like maybe
We're
one
talking
team
missionary.
gets a touchdown.
We're talking missionary. We're talking when you're on top and she's on bottom.
Honestly, I could see a 6-3 game.
Yes.
Oh God.
Like a baseball score all the way.
Hey, by the way, it's the Thursday night game.
No.
Woo!
Right?
So no, it's a 6-3 game, but the 6 is 3 safeties.
Wow. Like, this game looks like it's going to be ugly, and I can't. Like, I know that the Giants are playing the Panthers in Europe this season. And I thought that was ugly, but this sounds pretty ugly.
Because
too.
that's how you sell tickets.
Indeed. On Sunday, kicking off the games, New York Giants travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Interesting point. Deshaun Watson had some language pulled out of his contract this year for protection for that guarantees. If he is found guilty of this newest sexual assault claim, they could take out all the guaranteed money from that contract. Now, they'd still have the dead cap hit, but they wouldn't owe him the money. It would just be
they
on
knew what they
their
were
cap.
doing.
So, should be an interesting thing to see what happens there.
Oh,
I am going to take Cleveland in this one. I think they have enough weapons on defense, and I think that they can do just enough on offense that they can win this game.
Cleveland's defense versus the Giants' offense. I mean,
Well, your neighbors look good today.
the league neighbors look good. You're right. Okay, so guard him a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, Giants, you're gonna lose to Cleveland, and that's gonna suck. But deal with it.
the Giants.
Ooh, go with a G-man.
Yeah.
I would
Just-
love to see like
For the funsies.
not Daniel Jones get hurt, but not play the second half, and for some reason the Giants win. But I don't see it
I'd
happening.
love to see Cleveland implode. So,
Chicago travels to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. We're watching the game right now. Chicago's offense obviously has to play better than it did last week against the Titans and against Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson, you just never know. He is such an electric player. You don't know when he's going to break off an 80-yard pass or a big run. I think Chicago can win this game. I think it's a game that they'll be in a good place to win.
You.
So I'm picking Chicago.
You.
I'm also picking Chicago, and I'm picking them because I think that Indianapolis is trying to play too much like the Texans. And after playing the Texans this week, they're gonna know what to do, right? I don't think Indianapolis can hold the candle, but Chicago's gonna be like, yeah, that was our warm up game to beat Indianapolis. So, give me Chicago.
That's a good fucking So Texans, Indy Bears, or Texans Bears, Indy Bears. Like,
yeah.
with that matchup so close,
I
that
think
could
so.
really influence a lot of shit.
so.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Originally, I was going Bears,
Give me the Colts.
but I'm thinking Colts.
Yeah, give me
I'm
the
thinking
Colts.
Colts. Yeah.
All right. Split down the middle. I like
All right. Houston travels to Minnesota to take on a surprising 2-0 team.
Vikings.
I gotta go with Houston, just for no reason. I just have to. But fuck, that's probably gonna be a great game.
I made these picks 2 days ago, and then went through and tried to do some modifications. That was one that I was like, well, what's Houston doing? I think Houston is the better team with a better quarterback. But, Minnesota's spicy.
They're finding a way.
I'm
Yeah.
sticking with Houston, but, man, I would love to see this to be a good game.
I think Houston wins this game also, but I think it's going to be a good game.
I think that might be the game of the week. Like the
Very
good,
well
the good
maybe.
one,
Yep.
not the one nobody wants to watch. Yeah.
Philadelphia travels to New Orleans to take on the surprising 2-0 Saints.
The
Philadelphia
Saints.
won last week at Green Bay. They're going to play tomorrow night against the Falcons. I think Philadelphia knows enough at this point to know that they can't take the Saints as someone that they're just going to walk in and beat. Therefore, I think the Eagles win it.
The Saints.
You're just anti-Eagles this year.
I'm taking Philadelphia, but boy, only because I've not picked New Orleans so far for the first 2 weeks, and it hasn't gone my way. And I'm picking Philadelphia for the negative energy, so that way New Orleans wins. Does that make sense?
It does.
Somehow I win no matter what.
Yep.
In this
Yep.
scenario. Okay.
Yep.
All right, great. Cool.
I'm jumping on the New Orleans train and until it leaves the station.
There you go. There you go.
Like, I don't know how I couldn't pick them to beat what looks like not the same Eagles team. Like, just from last week to this week, like, who the fuck is showing up?
Yeah.
You have no fucking idea,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Very true. Okay, the Chargers travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. The Chargers, they've played very well in their 2 games so far. I think Pittsburgh's defense is just playing so well right now. I think that they can stop the Chargers offense, who have been running the ball very efficiently.
Yeah.
But the Pittsburgh defense is truly legit in my mind. I think Justin Fields will be able to do enough for the Steelers to win this game. I think that Pickens has a nice get-right game after going against Surtain today, which is a rough game for any wide receiver. So I think that the Steelers are going to win that game.
If Herbert is still a little shaky, I don't know. I mean, pretty much what Matt just said, but with an unsteady quarterback, I got to go Steelers.
I picked Chargers the other day. This is when I thought about changing. I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with the Chargers.
I will say Joe Alt,
I'm also going to stick with
stud.
the Chargers.
Stud tackle. What a great pick in the
My
draft.
God.
He's already
So,
looking amazing.
there's another lineman on the Chargers.
Rashawn Slater?
Yes, that is also incredible.
Absolutely. They have bookend tackles.
And
They
so
do.
I was
It's
listening
so
to,
nice to have,
I'll let Matt get the show progressing here in a second, but I was listening to sports commentary where they're saying that you would not think of O lineman as rookie of the year, but both of those guys are so good and protect him so well that it's not for nothing kind of thing. Joe Alt and the other guy are
Yeah.
incredible.
Rashawn Slater.
Yeah.
Yes, he's very good. Denver travels to Tampa Bay to take on the 2-0 Bucks.
I've already picked Tampa.
I
I
go-
wish I could pick elsewhere.
I'm going to go with Tampa also. It's nothing against the Broncos, but rookie quarterback. Tampa Bay's defense is playing well. Baker Mayfield is playing very well. I think that Tampa Bay is going to win this one.
That long pause, I should look up Bo Nix's name. What if Zach Wilson gets the start?
True.
A lot of Mills in Tampa.
I'm Tampa Bay also, Brian.
Yeah. I already put in Tampa Bay for everyone.
Okay.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa.
Green Bay travels to Tennessee to take on the reeling Titans at 0-2 at this point. Malik Willis did not have a great game, but he played pretty well. The biggest question here is can they finally stop turning the ball over in very dumb ways on the Tennessee offensive side?
I don't think they can.
Green Bay's defense played a lot better today. I love Tennessee's defensive line. I think running the ball against Tennessee for the Packers is going to be much more difficult than it was today.
Yep.
I think Malik Willis needs a strong running game to help him.
Oh, definitely. That helps every quarterback, though.
I'm going with the upset. I'm picking the Titans.
Really?
I have Tennessee. I
Okay.
have Tennessee.
It's not because I hate the Packers. If Jordan Love was playing, I would pick the Green Bay Packers
Like
immediately.
straight up, yeah.
It wouldn't even be close. I just think that their defense can do enough against Malik Willis. They know Malik Willis. They know what he doesn't do well. They know what he does. If there's a team to do well against him, it's the Titans' defense.
The Titans just need to get up ahead and take Josh Jacobs out of the game.
Yep.
That being said, can the Titans
Do that.
get there early? I'm not so sure. I think that's a gross game. But
I feel like, and it's not the same, but remember, like,
The Titans? Yeah.
oh my god, oh my god. Fucking tee that one up for your ass. Oh, man.
you were laughing really hard at your own joke.
I know, man. I am. I've had a few beers.
Are you proud of yourself?
Barroom commentary. I like to live by it, guys. Listen, Skunk Hunter beat me to the punch last week. He was the most barroom commentary of us all. I can't let him beat me every week.
No, that's the closest I had a suicide spit take in a while.
I was going to say, Green Bay knowing, okay, Aaron Rodgers probably isn't going to fuck himself up game one again. And he didn't, you know? So knowing he's really someone else's quarterback this season is lit an extra fucking fire under their ass collectively. Even though, like, 80% of the team in Green Bay never played with him at this point, you know?
Right.
But I'm like, I think they just want that big fuck you. They're going to come out and fight kind of like the Lions fought for Dan Campbell when they didn't have the talent.
Right.
Like, kind of. Not to that
Yeah.
level, but kind
Right,
of, you
right,
know?
yeah.
I feel Green Bay with this giant fucking fuck you that they just want to demolish everyone possible. And I think they can take on Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like the wounded Tennessee, you know?
Yeah.
I think that line is going to give them a lot of trouble. That running game, they have to make adjustments really fucking fast if they can't punch him through. But going Green Bay.
Can I do Titans and a cookie, please?
Titans and a cookie.
Thank you.
You're getting Omo Razor for that motherfucker.
That's right.
Okay.
Enjoy your breakfast.
The Panthers travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Antonio Pierce is not going to let his team overlook somebody.
No.
I don't see how Carolina's offensive line can stop Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins.
No.
I'm sorry. I think that Bryce Young is going to be running for his life, and the Raiders are going to win this one handily.
Especially after today, the Raiders aren't going to team like, yay, we can beat some people. They're going to be like, no, this is fucking who we are. Fucking respect motherfuckers,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They get to put a beating on a team that they know they're gonna put a beating on.
Yeah.
They're gonna stamp that shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Raiders
I
across
agree.
the board. Yeah, right.
Okay, Miami travels to Seattle.
This is the tough one.
It's not to me. I say Seattle wins this one. Skylar Thompson can play well in spurts. I know they're going to sign a veteran. It'll probably, I'd say Ryan Tannehill sounds like this will be where he probably goes.
Yeah, that's what
One
it looks
week
like.
is not enough, I think, to learn that offense. I think Seattle has enough pieces, can do enough on offense against a Miami defense that is not playing as well after all the losses they had in the offseason. I think Seattle wins this one.
I agree. Enough said.
Yeah, but not by a huge margin, but I think Seattle.
I'm saying Miami. Like, it's
I
one
don't-
thing to lose to the Bills. It's one thing
Whoa,
to get
whoa, 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 whoa,
embarrassed
whoa.
by them.
3
Like-
scores.
That's what I'm saying. Embarrassed by them. That game was not even fucking close for more than 2 minutes, you know?
But the only squad that can really be like, yeah, let's go, we're gonna win this and make a difference is the defense.
I don't think it matters.
If Skylar Thompson starts the game,
I don't think it matters.
listen, HN is going to
I
run for 100 yards.
I see
Tyreek
Tariq
Hill,
finally getting 200 yards in a game.
I think Tyreek is good, right? But but is Skylar Thompson the one putting it in Tyreek's hands like that?
No, he's just getting it within 15 yards of him.
Yeah, gotcha, right.
I don't know, it's just gut feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, Detroit travels to Arizona, take on the feisty fucking Cardinals. I think Detroit gets a get right game here.
I want them to.
I want Arizona to do well in this game, but I think Detroit has too many weapons. I think they're probably embarrassed after today,
Yeah.
and I think they show up to play.
I don't want to pick against Detroit. Like they're a terrifying squad. I think this is their year to just really continue their momentum. I'm sticking with Detroit. You're looking at me like where you're going with it, but
So you don't want to pick against them.
I don't want to. Like the way Arizona's playing right now, Arizona's got that same dog in them. This could be the game of the week.
Put me down for Arizona.
Hey, 2-2. I'm also like,
Yeah, they got the dog in them.
I really like Detroit. Like, I have never been a Lions fan. I kind of am now. Like, the last couple of years, oh, man. But, like, Arizona, last 2 games, like, fuck, you guys are fucking putting this shit together.
Yep. And listen, Kyler Murray is a year removed from that injury now, playing lights out football right now. Baltimore travels to Dallas, take on an embarrassed Cowboys team.
Embarrassed.
But a Ravens team that just got beaten by the Raiders.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're not very happy either. The last couple of years, if there's one thing you want to do to beat Dallas, you run right at them. Baltimore's got a pretty good running back to do that. The question is, do they have enough? For running right at a team, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If
Is
you're
he
willing
kinda
to
good?
if you're willing to give Derrick Henry the carries, he will produce for you.
Yeah.
Is he was he a tackle? What it was Derrick Henry?
He's about the size of a tackle. I'll give you that.
Derrick Henry?
But Baltimore has
Where are
given
you
up
substituting?
some passing yards. They have not given up a lot of rushing yards. Dallas is not going to be able to run the ball well in this game either, I don't think. So it's going to become very much a toss-up. But do you like Dak and his offense or Lamar Jackson and his offense? So what do y'all think?
I like Derrick Henry, so I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
No one is better than a French running back. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah. Derrick
Henry?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry Sacramento.
Give me Baltimore. I think that like the defense can keep Dallas slow, and they can control the pace of the game. They can run the ball as they need to. I think it's Baltimore can control this game to win.
I like Baltimore. I love Derrick Henry in Baltimore. I don't see the Cowboys getting embarrassed 2 weeks in a row.
I wouldn't have said I saw Baltimore get embarrassed 2 weeks in a row.
I don't think they got embarrassed.
It's not right. Like
Yeah,
you're
our
not-
Cowboys got fucking
right.
embarrassed.
It's not an
today.
embarrassment to lose to Baltimore, though. You know what I mean? These are good ass teams.
Oh yeah, but I don't see it happening. Yeah, Matt.
I am going to go with Dallas. I think that they were so embarrassed today that they come back and I think it'll be a close game. I'd say this is like a 27-24 win by Dallas. San Francisco travels to Los Angeles to take on the reeling Rams at this point, who lost Cooper Kupp today. Turns out, news came out today that Puka Nacua is going to be out probably for about 6 weeks. That hurts a lot. I say San Francisco wins this game.
Same.
I think with injuries,
Yeah.
this should have been a fucking marquee matchup for the week. It should have been.
Yep.
Nothing else to add. Same.
Kansas City travels to Atlanta. And Kansas City has had... Their defense has not looked great so far this season. I'm sorry, their defense has looked quite good this season. Their offense has not looked great so far this season.
Still trying to figure it out.
I
Yep.
think that this is a game where Kansas City gets right. They beat Atlanta fairly handily next Sunday night, but I think Atlanta's offense finally starts to show up.
It would be nice to see him show up a little bit, but it's going to be tough.
And again,
You know?
Kirk Cousins trying to recover from that Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't very mobile to begin with. But yeah, I say Kansas City.
I would like the Falcons to be able to upset them. I don't see it happening. I think it's going to be closer than anyone projects. Like, I think, if you're a gambler, you bet against that spread, and you can win fucking money, you know?
Falcons because I want it to happen.
Nice, nice. Scotty going.
Oh, Casey.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay, yeah.
Jacksonville travels to Buffalo. I cannot see in any way. It's not that Jacksonville doesn't have talent. They're so inconsistent. And the Bills are running the ball well. Josh Allen is distributing the ball well. Their defense is playing far better than I thought they would, having to replace both their safeties, defensive linemen, a defensive line coach. It doesn't seem to matter. I think Buffalo's going to win this one.
I mean, James Cook is a good running back.
Yes,
I mean,
he is.
Buff, hands down. Yeah. Oh, you're actually picking the Bills to win. Okay.
All right.
Oh, what did you pick?
Washington travels to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Washington's looked fun so far this season. I don't see them doing enough. I think Cincinnati's going to be angry about how that game was lost today. I think they're going to take it out on the commies. And I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have their get-right game. Specifically just throwing the ball to Jamar Chase because they haven't really done that well this season, so far this season. And the commies defensive backfield just gave up 10 catches, 127 yards to Neighbors. I think Jamar Chase is going to light them up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have Jamar Chase on my fantasy team, and by no means do I feel like I need to swap him for someone else.
I wouldn't either.
No.
Especially not after today's game.
I'm looking for 40 points from him, bud. Let's go.
Bengals all around? Yeah, okay, yeah.
So that's all of our picks for this week. I would like to say one little note, and I am looking forward to listening to you guys for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I will not be here. I am traveling to Germany to knock a bucket list item off. Go visit a friend of the show, Bill Amerson. Going to go enjoy some Oktoberfest
Yeah.
for the first time ever. I've been to Germany like 8 times, never been there for Oktoberfest. And I will be shit-faced,
Good for you.
as we do.
I know you'll do American Drinkers Proud, you know.
I will not make an ass out of myself, I'll tell you that.
I know
Ooh,
you'll. I know you.
try to find a beer fest.
I'll do my best. I will make us look bad in that case. I have not been drinking enough the last year. But I know you guys will handle it well. I don't know who will be taking over as far as doing all the scores and everything. I'm assuming Mr.
Yeah,
Stats will do it again as he
Scotty.
has in the past.
I thought we were just going to say, like, so a bunch of games happened, players did things,
Yeah.
and on to NFL.
I've got 45 minutes of my NFL plan. Nothing but college football next week. All Syracuse.
All Syracuse.
So that is the show for this week. I'd like to remind you that we're on every Sunday night at 8 o'clock on YouTube. Please feel free to come join us and get in the chat. It's been open all night. I haven't gotten anything so far tonight. That's okay, though. It will be every 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday nights. We are on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Please give us a like, give us a follow, maybe hit the subscribe button. And leave a note. Tell us what we're doing right or wrong so we can try to figure it out and make it better every time. And, yeah, so now I get to watch my Bears try to win a game, and we'll see what happens.
BT Dubs, Houston's fucking stuffing them. Oh, it's so good.
There's
Not-
a lot of time left in the game.
Not so much for you.
Anyway, thank you very much for listening to the show. We really appreciate it. As always, I am Matty Fax, joined by Scott Staten, chairman of the board, the professor, and the great skunk hunter, Pepe Le Producer. Thanks for listening to us, and we will see y'all. I'm sorry, they will see y'all next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see y'all in 3 weeks. Maybe I'll get it on the chat board.
Yeah.
6 hours ahead, but who knows?
We'll see.
All right? Y'all have a wonderful week. Enjoy the Sunday night game. Enjoy the Monday night game, and we'll see you later.